Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ron. I'm here to show you how to do a simple wire shelf installation. We'll take you over to our laundry room closet and show you what our needs are. Go ahead, Sam. So we have a vacuum cleaner and a very small laundry room closet that we doubles as our coat closet. And you see our vacuum takes up a lot of room. We've already cleared out the boots. But when you put your boots in there and the vacuum in there, everything just kind of bunches up and causes problems. So we're going to try hanging us wire shelf, and I've already measured the closet out. It's 31 1/4 inches wide by 23 inches deep. So tools you'll need: we have a tape measure, a small level, a 2-foot level, which is probably going to be too big for this job, a couple shelf brackets that the shelving will sit in, and then a couple clips for the shelving in the back here. And then hopefully I can show you guys a simple trick I use with using a hammer and a Phillips head screwdriver instead of having to drill everything, drilling the holes out. But we could also try using the drill if we need to. And then I have a bolt cutter, but if you go to your home improvement store to buy your wired shelving, they can sometimes cut the shelving down too for you if you have the measurements already. This is just a scrap piece of shelving I have laying around, so that's what I'm going to use today. So we're going to start with cutting the shelving. Since my measurement is 31 1/4 inches, I'm actually going to cut my shelving a little narrower than that so it's easier to install with the brackets in place. And what you'll want to do is take a Sharpie, your tape measure, and measure out on here. I'm just going to make it simple and cut it at 31. So I'll put 3 marks on here. Once I do that, I'll put my safety glasses on and cut the wire. I like using a bolt cutter. You can also use a hacksaw. You can usually pick those up somewhere like Walmart or your typical home improvement center for pretty cheap. But for me, I do a lot of wire shelving in our house, so I buy myself a bolt cutter. And as you can see, I'm not wearing safety boots, which probably isn't the most recommended thing, but at least a pair of tennis shoes. But it's warm in here today. Don't worry about being super exact when you cut these with a bolt cutter. You just want to make sure you have at least 1/4 inch for the wall space, because when you set the shelving in, it'll hang up on the wall and then scratch your walls up or just plain be difficult. And these corner brackets, once they're installed, will sit in these clips like this. So let's go mark the wall up for that, and we'll take care of the measurements here. So one of the things I don't like about brackets like this is I want this shelf finish height to be at 12 inches, but these brackets do not have this height here marked down very well. That's where I want my 12-inch height to be at. So this bracket's actually going to sit lower. So I need to figure out how far down I need to go here. From the top of the bracket to this is roughly 2 3/8 inches. I know my tape measure is pretty worn out, but so it's roughly 2 3/8 inches. So 12 minus 2 3/8 is 9 5/8 inches off the floor. And the other thing is you need to know the depth of your shelf. So this is actually just under 12 inches. So we're going to go with, take your clips, make sure you put these back clips on and measure, because those will sit off the wall a little bit too. Let's see, they go this way. So you're going to need the thickness of that clip from the wall to the front of your wire shelving. is going to be, I think, just about exactly 12 inches. So that's how it comes out, just right at 12 inches. So the center of this clip needs to be 12 inches from the back of the wall. And then the bottom of this hole for the bottom of the clip has to be, what did I say, 9 5/8 inches, Sam? Sam's my cameraman today. So, okay, so then we come into the closet here. Come on in. We have to find 12 inches. Put a little light over here so you can see what I'm doing. 12 inches. Take the pencil. If you're sitting on it, there you go. And drop your pencil. Pick the pencil back up. Mark a point on here. 12 inches, right about where you think it's going to be. And since this is in a coat closet, I'm not really too concerned about neatness here. You can see there's already boot scuff marks and everything on the wall. 12 inches that way, and I said 9 5/8 inches off the floor. So we're a little bit off our line here. So right about there. You could take a level, make sure we're plumb. Our measurement. No, we're not. So you can see the bubble level down here. So there's level. Bring it over to where your mark was at. Here's my 9 5/8 inch mark. Bring that over to where your 12 mark was at. Get that leveled. And that's going to be the hole for the first. So draw a vertical line there. Now I know exactly where I need to put the hole for that first bottom bracket piece. And then to mark out the top bracket, you simply, I just eyeball this. So you can see they got the center point there. And up here you got this one. And then I'll need my hammer and my Phillips screwdriver right here. Sam. And this is where you don't really need a drill. This is my little trick I like to use. So I found is a Phillips screwdriver. It's roughly the same size as this here. So what I generally just do is line up on that hole. Boom, there's my hole. And again on the other hole. Perfect. And then if I did that right, this will line up to the point that I can just push this on. Okay. So at that point we'll pause, I'll do the other side, and then we'll come right back. Alright, so since we last talked, I had put in that bracket over here on the right side of the closet, and I remembered something very important to tell everybody. Is this is 31 1/4 inches across. I actually needed to cut this at at 30 3/4, so a 1/2 inch shorter than the width of your closet. And one other thing to always keep in mind is closets in particular, and most rooms are never built square. So this one, I don't know if you can see that back there, is actually 30 3/4 at the back and about 31 1/4 at the front. So this closet wasn't frame square. So since we last paused, I actually had to go back and trim each side of this wire rack. But now we're ready to install the clips to hold the back of the shelving up. And those clips look like this. The thing you want to do is take a small level or your large level if you have it yet, and try to balance the shelf out, and then grab your pencil. I'm going to use 3 clips. I could probably use 2 here, but since we're putting some of my work boots and stuff on here, probably better to go with something a little more than I needed. So I'll mark out locations for 3 clips. Do one here, one right here in the middle, and then one over on that far side. And then we'll take this down. See, it's a little tight because of the wall not being square. Pull the rack out of the way, and we'll just simply punch in those 3 holes again, just like we did for the corner brackets. And if we hit a stud, we'll have to do is take a utility knife or a scissors, cut the wall grommet off this piece here. So, and then you can either use a screw or just use the nail yet. There's pilot hole 1, 2, and 3. And then we pop these little clips in. Okay, so just push in with you. And you know what I just did, people? I just set those holes too low because I overlooked. Well, we can try it out. Let's try it out and see if it's going to work. It might tip back a little bit. Probably needed to set those holes a little bit higher because the wire shelf is going to sit on that bracket. So I measured my spacing wrong. I should have gone up about 1/4 inch or more from where I had my level line set at. Now let's take a look. Grab that wire rack, we'll slide it back in there and I'll show you the mistake I just made. So if you can sneak that camera back in here, Sam. Actually, this might work. Let's check. Take a look at our level. That actually worked out pretty good, folks. Look at my level. My level is level, so those marks were right. So sometimes these spacers will be wrong where the wire rack won't hang right at the line you mark. This case I got lucky. I'm really surprised by that because I've used some of the other type. There's another type that has a clip that comes down and secures this wire rack in even tighter than these do. So all we have to do now is just put our nails in and we're done. Tap that in to open up that wall anchor. Same with that one. I'm missing my 3rd nail, which is probably underneath me here somewhere. Kind of tight quarters. Alright, so we lost our nail. Stay here.
I'm gonna look for it.
Find it? It's probably, I don't know where it went. So anyway, I forgot another nail because I have a whole bunch of wall anchor stuff laying around. So we'll go ahead and pop this one in. No, there it was. It was stuck to my magnet on my level. Go figure. Alright, so now we're ready to put our boots and stuff back in here. And Sam, you want to keep that camera rolling? We'll throw everything in and give it a try.
We'll be back in a moment while we put away the boots.
And now for the moment of truth. Roll the vacuum in. Hey, the vacuum looks like it's going to fit. Sam, go ahead and step back and close the door. And that is it, everybody. Thank you for joining me today on this video that Sam asked me to make.
That is a quick and easy project. Okay,
Yep.
bye.
Yep, thank you. Please make sure you subscribe.